Our rural communities will now focus on productivity. Back in the days, you go to your village, they welcome you with palm oil, they welcome you with plantain, with yam. Now you go to the village, they are opening their hands, they are waiting for you to bring what you brought from the cities. What has happened to us? What has happened to our people? And we need to reverse that. When the governor says, I want to ensure that there is productivity and there is zero poverty in the head count in Enugu State, what it means that it doesn't expect anybody to be poor in Enugu. And will you sit down and be praying for you to be rich? No, you have to work. So what we're going to do is work with the state government to ensure that our people have access to what they need to farm. Make it easy, make it formalized, organized work, and that quickly helps to drop. Farming is very key to us. Agro-industrialization is very key to us. With all the tractors that the governor has acquired and is still acquiring, you have to go somewhere.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, my name is Ambassador of the VAR Podcast. Today, we're starting something so new and different. Ahead of the local government election in Enugu State that is slated for September, we've come up with a series where we bring different candidates of different parties to come and sit and just tell us something for 60 seconds. Not about their vision, but how they will intend to actualize that vision. Today, with me on this very episode is a very dynamic young man. He needs no introduction. He started all the way from Anambra State under the administration of the man we know as Ebube Aguleri. Apoko DK Global, that is Governor Obiano. And he came over to Enugu State. Then he served as the SPA Agriculture to the then Governor of Enugu State, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, who is now an ambassador of Nigeria to Greece. And as we speak, he has also served in very top capacity in the administration of Governor Peter Ndubisi Mba. But the striking thing today is that the same man is going back to Nkanu East, where he is from, as Mirioma Nkanu, where he will be also seeking for the votes of the people to making him the next local government chairman. If Nkanu West agrees, he's no other person other than Engineer Mike Chikosolu Ogbuekwe.
Well, thank you. And good afternoon to our viewers and listeners.
Okay. Beyond politics. Who is Engineer Mike outside politics?
Well, you already know my name. I'm just a young man that wants to live his life, work hard, play hard, and make an impact in the world. From Engr in Nkanu East local government. I was born and raised in Plateau State, primary school in Jos, secondary school in Jos, Plateau State, university in UNN. Started my career with serving in the bank, worked shortly and joined Baker Hughes as measurement while drilling engineer and got trained in various places around the world and have traveled the world. Experienced first-hand technology engineering before I got invited to join the government of Obiano as a technocrat, shaping policies in 2014. So aside politics, I think I'm just a young man on a journey to ensuring that anywhere I pass through, I leave a legacy and I make it a better place than before I came in.
Okay, so why we brought you today is to talk about your vision for transforming Nkanu East local government. But before then, what prompted you to vying for this public office as a technocrat?
Well, you can see that we have technocrats running Enugu state government. And within a space of 3 years going to 4 years now, we can see the massive transformation that's happened in Enugu state. In 1 year, he started Enugu Air. In 1 year, he fixed the International Conference Center that was left dormant for 24, 25 years. In less than 1 year, he hit all the terrorists, pushed them outside, ended it at home, brought back vibrancy into the economy of Enugu state. He fixed our infrastructure, started dualizing the Upin Sukai Road, smart schools in every town. People thought he was too ambitious. And you see a person who I work with close, up front, and I see somebody that is different, that is unique, that is empowering, that has a way to motivate you to do bigger than yourself, that if you're thinking of doing, I want to do 10 smart schools, you tell you no, 260 smart schools and your head will blow. So how would you do 260 smart schools in one sitting? And looking at that kind of person, I say, no, this is the kind of person I want to work with. And since he is the general, he needs lieutenants that will work with him in the various local governments. And he deserves quality, well-trained, exposed, and experienced people in the local government system to support him. I'm talking about supporting Dr. Peter Mba. And if you have all the local government chairmen all doing their part, playing their roles, the job becomes easier for Dr. Peter Mba, and it will make the dream of moving the economy of Enugu State exponentially forward faster. If every local government chairman has even just 10% of what Dr. Peter Mba can do. And since my own local government chairman has expended his tenure and is not coming back based on the constitution, and so there is going to be vacancy. So I decided that, look, I think I should go there and emulate what Dr. Peter Mba is doing in Enugu State, with focus on the 14 wards of Nkanu East. Put my energy, put my time, copy what he's doing, paste it in Nkanu East, and let our people enjoy the vibrancy of good governance. Let the people enjoy the vibrancy of what experience that comes with technical know-how, with vastness in knowledge and travel and implementation of policies. Let our people begin to enjoy what good governance stands for. We've had good governance, but let's take it to the next level. When you want to drive a car, you start with gear 1, right? We've gone to gear 1, we've gone to gear 2, let's go to gear 5 now. And that's why I'm here vying for local government chairman to support what our governor is doing. And by the way, the governor of Enugu State is from Nkanu East, my local government. So the people of Nkanu East deserve nothing less but the full weight of good governance, the kind of good governance that Peter Mba has been given the entire state. And that's my motivation. Go there and ensure that we develop the economy of our rural communities. And if all the rural communities are all economically vibrant and viable, it all, geometrically, or what we say, exponentially aggregate into the development of the economy of the entire state. So that's my thinking, that's my dream, that's my passion. That is what has made me to decide to get my face on the ballot, even when I know that I would have preferred to be private and just do my things on the ground. But I think the time is now. Thank you.
Being from the local government of the present administrator, that's Governor Peter Mba, while you were saying, you're giving an analogy when you start a car from gear 1, 2, but now you want to move it to 5. How do you intend to build this local economy of 14 towns, right?
Wards.
14 wards.
And 36 communities.
Good. 14 wards, 36 communities. How do you intend to build this local economy to gear 5?
Like I said earlier, copy, paste. We already have a working template. If other people are copying from outside, then we from within should even copy better. We have a governor that has already set a template for us. He's our mentor, he's our father, he's our advisor. We watch, we learn. So number one is to align strategically with what is going on in the state level. When the governor thought about smart schools, what he wanted to do is to ensure that our children have upgraded learning experience, experiential learning, better learning environment, changing curriculum, a curriculum that is world class, that can make them come out and compete with other children from the world. He was not just talking about the building, the infrastructure, the building, no. So, number one, aligning with what he had in mind with the smart schools. Let's produce the best kids out of Nigeria. In fact, Enugu kids are already winning various awards nationally now, Olympiad, mathematics, physics and the rest. So you can imagine when that happens across the entire state. So in Nkanu East, focus on ensuring that the smart schools are well operationalized according to how the governor wants it, with security, with light and everything. The teachers are happy. The students are having access to schools, uniforms, work, alignment with the government. That is important. If you check every country of the world that moved from poverty in a lifetime, they educated the mind. They started from the children. So that when they, like cutting grass, when the grass at the top is brown and old, you cut it, right? You sweep it. The one under is fresh. So the older people have come up, some of them are getting to the point where they cannot change again. But you start educating the younger people, they grow up, they replace the next generation of people of Enugu State will become the power movers, the great startups, the great founders, the great innovators, people, the place, the home for outsourcing of talents to the world. And that is what the mission, the vision of Dr. Peter Mba is with the smart schools. I will align 100% with that and make sure it works. Healthcare, our rural communities. We have mosquitoes are one of the biggest killers. We have malaria all over the place, and we have other kind of things like maternal mortality, primary health care centers, 267 or thereabout, the governor is building, and at different stages. Go in there, we ensure that we operationalize them. Work with the governor, align with the governor's vision. Make sure everything is working there. Doctors, there are nurses, 247, solar light, powered. Everybody is happy. The people have schools, the people have healthcare. We now talk about food. Farm estates. The economy of our rural communities is over 80% dominated by agriculture. At least I know of Nkanu East. Our people are farmers. They're already farming. So what we want to do, we want to go in there and formalize that sector, create clusters. The farm estate program is a program of the governor. What is that program about? It's about creating 200 hectares farm clusters within every ward of the state, parcellate it into 1 hectare, and allocate it to the farmers. Clear it, make sure they have access to tractors, inputs, fence it, so that unwanted elements can't come in. Put security there. Our forest guards. Our people can now bravely and confidently and passionately go to work. They produce. Then we have access to farms, market linkage. Products from the farms, harvest linked to the market, right? Money flows from the urban to the rural. Food flows from the rural to the urban. Primary processing is done, secondary processing is done. The economy begins to catalyze. People begin to work. All the people that thought that they just wanted to ride Okada and go and indulge in dirty and bad habits can now have an excuse to leave that and go to work. And if you don't want to leave, we will ensure that you go to the right place. So our rural communities will now be focused on productivity. Back in the days, you go to your village, they welcome you with palm oil, they welcome you with plantain, with yam. Now you go to the village, they are opening their hands, they are waiting for you to bring what you brought from the cities. What has happened to us? What has happened to our people? And we need to reverse that. When the governor says, I want to ensure that there is productivity and there is zero poverty index, headcount in Enugu State, what it means that it doesn't expect anybody to be poor in Enugu? And will you sit down and be praying for you not to be for you to be rich? No, you have to work. So what we're going to do is work with the state government to ensure that our people have access to what they need to farm. Make it easy, make it formalized, organized for our people, and that quickly helps to drop the poverty head count, and then increase productivity and increase the money that circulates within the state. So farming is very key to us. Agro-industrialization is very key to us. With all the tractors that the governor has acquired and is still acquiring, they have to go somewhere. They have to go to clustered environments, clustered farms. Our women and our youths and our fathers will now become, people that employ technology in their farms, growing. So if other countries could do it, we can do it. In 2016, I went for a training in South Korea. They called it Development of the Economies of Rural Communities. So I'm a fellow of the Korean Institute of Cooperation Agency. What they gave us was not money. What they gave us was knowledge. They said, this is what South Korea did after the war with North Korea, where every part of South Korea was bombarded. Even trees were bombed. Trees were not even growing. And General Park, then their president, then their head of state, now focused on the rural areas, created clusters, got people to focus and work. That became the bedrock of the development of South Korea. So while they were developing the rural areas, they were also developing heavy industries and sending people to Germany to act as people that drill tunnels for train stations, and sending women to go work as nurses to various countries and bringing the money home. And today, it is that program, that idea is seen as a UNESCO heritage, something that should be copied. Thailand had their own method that was there in 2014 when it showed us what the king of Thailand did, and there's whole sustainable sufficiency theory. Sufficiency theory, that everybody has to be sufficient in his home. So if you have your land, you divide it into 30% for water, 30% for planting, 30% for living space. You do channelization of water so that you have fish, you have crops, and then you live. So if you are self-sufficient theory in your own place, and everybody is self-sufficient, around. So now that is the whole mentality, the whole idea we have for our rural communities, for our wards in Nkanu East. Self-sufficiency through agriculture. Then going forward, our markets are very important spaces. Okay, Afo, Uri. And you see that even when you read things fall apart, you see that the markets are everything. We need to upgrade our markets. We need to make our markets the places for trade. We need to see large trucks coming out from our markets carrying produce out of our markets. We need to end poverty, and it is only us that can do it for ourselves. And if you're going to help our people to farm, we have to work on infrastructure. The governor cannot do everything now. Do you know how many kilometers of road the governor has done so far? Everywhere there's roads going on. You go to MNA, you go to Tinker's Corner, you go, all over Enugu, you see roads coming up, and in various communities. But as a local government, we should be able to apply a specific direct way of developing inner roads in our communities. We have trunk A roads, trunk B, trunk C roads, feeder roads. In the local government, we should be able to do smaller roads with drainages. And then that way we employ our youth directly. We train them, vocational training. Train them, get them to work, we pay them. Everybody will be busy. So what we want to do is to create a very big catalysis in our local government system, activate the local government system such that it becomes the pride of the nation. We make our local government a place where everybody wants to live in. I like to live, when I go to my house in the village, I love it. Because there's peace. The governor has brought security. home. I remember when some people came up and made a list of people they wanted to kidnap in my place. I'm sure I was on that list. But now I can go home. So we have to join the governor in sustaining security. Everybody is security. Community policing. You see something, you say something. We already have neighborhood watches. We already have forest guards. What we just need to do is to coordinate them. The governor has a command and control center from where we see everything that's happening in Enugu. If something happens today, of course, nobody will tell you that now. I was privileged to be shown how operations were done from control and command center, where someone came and stole somebody's car. He just snapped, and then they were tracking using AI in the video. As we were passing, it just be ringing, and one day they were caught. So a lot is going on in Enugu State, but nobody will tell you because security is that kind of thing is not what is always told. Enugu is safe and secure as it is now. Is because the governor has invested in technology, infrastructure, in manpower, created the DRS. And now we'll take it a step further on his behalf. We'll go to our rural areas and create a situation system whereby you see something, you say something, all link it up to what's going on in the state so that we overlap security, we tighten our place. Our forests, our bushes will no longer be vacuums because nature abhors vacuum. We don't want people running around our bushes anymore because we're farming in our bushes. Bushes are useful. We don't want to catch anybody sitting down in a K market drinking and smoking at the daytime. Go to work. Let's get back to that place where Igbo people were highly productive. And that is how the local government system can, support what the governor is doing. And we're going to do that by the grace of God. Those are just a few things on my plan, my manifesto, that I want to do. And of course, you were one of the people that I took to Kefi for training. 2021, we trained 520 youths then in agriculture. So we're going to have vocational training too in Nkanu East, back to back. Get our people to believe in the power of their hands and the strength of their brains. I'm an engineer. I'm fortunate to have been trained in different parts of the world. And the power of training means that you see instantly that you can do something because you've been there, you've done it. So we'll get our people to get in and know that they have the capacity to do it. They are the ones that will do the roads. They're the ones that will do the drainages, the culverts. Does it take to do a culvert? The people of Nkanu East will do it. And after we've trained our people, just like Utoni is exporting tilers and plumbers to us, I think we will start doing reverse. We'll start exporting, to them, to Nigeria. Nigeria is a huge market. Nigeria is too big. Utoni is. In fact, Enugu alone has too much projects going on. That look at the new Enugu. Do you know how many plumbers they need in the new Enugu city? Do you know how many tilers they will need? Even with this whole water reticulation that is going on now in Enugu State that the governor is doing. And when I see people talk about water, I'm laughing. They don't know the huge work the governor is doing. Piping the entire Enugu State because the infrastructure has been dug up, destroyed, built upon. They pump water from 9th Mile before it gets to MNA. Somebody's house is already blowing up in somebody's house because they dug foundation and destroyed it. So the whole line of channelization is going on now. A lot of places are lucky to have gotten their water now because it's fixed. But you know the number of plumbers that were required for that project. So that's why we need to train our people. And by the grace of God, we shall do that. And see that our place in Nkanu East becomes a pride in Enugu State. Now, talking about urbanization, you know that Governor Peter Mba recently announced some places as urban areas. I was in the office of the Commissioner for Lands, was it yesterday, and I was looking at the map. I think I need to get that map. You see that in every part of Enugu, the places that were orange in color are urban from areas now, from Oji River to some New Ridge or go to Nkanu East, Pronouncement is one, activation is another. So we're going to activate the urban status of Nkanu East through proper thinking, planning, coordination, working with our people, land aggregation, layout planning, and then sensitization of the people, and do a proper investment structure, partnerships, PPP, bring people in, and then we start having urban centers in every ward, ward by ward. If we can do that in the next 2 to 4 years, don't you think Dr. Peter Mba will be happy? And don't you think the people will be happy that at the end of the day, they elected the right people to help to lead them on? So that's in a nutshell the kind of things we have in mind. As anything else comes to my mind, I would say it to you.
Okay, before I ask this question, let's just dwell a little. Seeing that the new Enugu is now a part of Nkanu East, how would this translate to the economy if you happen to become the local government chairman come September?
Well, thank you so much. The new Enugu is spread across several local governments. Yes, so it's not just, and if I remember properly from the map, I think some part of Uruku, in Nkanu East is there, some. So but Abugo, we have Enugu South, we have, so it's spread across Nkanu West to Enugu South, and a little bit of Nkanu East. So everything good helps in increasing the economy of a place. My small understanding, I'm an engineer, I'm not an economist, but to me, my understanding of economy of a place is the sum total of the money. So if you have a basket and you put money inside, cover it, the sum total of the money circulation. That's the way I understand it. So if you keep putting more money and the basket it go choke. There'll be a lot of money circulation that the people will start getting fat if they don't have a good exercise routine. And so the new Enugu coming on stream means that people will begin to invest in it. We expect external money to come into Enugu. That is the economic thing we're talking about, more coming into the basket. We expect, especially in the Igbo that live in Lagos, in Abuja, in Kano, Jigawa, in Asaba, in other parts of the country, not even to talk about the ones that live in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in Japan, in other parts of the world. Everybody wants to live in Enugu. Enugu is beautiful. We have an international airport. We have an airline. So you can fly from anywhere and just land in Enugu. I mean, for the first time in 2024, I landed directly in Enugu. I went to India, then flew through Ethiopia and landed in Enugu. And I said, oh boy, I don't come Enugu. Because before you land in Lagos, you suffer and you offload, or you land in Abuja, but I landed in Enugu directly. And I'm like, wow. And in about 7 minutes, I was in my house, no traffic. So you see that the Igbo know that Enugu is the place they should own a house, whether they are living in that house or not. So the new Enugu will be filled up with Igbo that just want to have a house. In fact, when I built my house in Enugu, I wasn't even living in Enugu. But I thought I should have a house in Enugu. The national headquarters should be in Enugu. And today, I'm enjoying it. And so will other Igbo people enjoy theirs when they have built a new Enugu. Enugu has a high cluster of higher institutions. Within a 35 to 45 kilometer radius, You have over 15 higher institutions. You can start naming them one by one now. You see the secondary schools all doing well. So Ndibo will want their children to come and school in Enugu. And that's why they will build a house in Enugu. And in fact, Ndibo want to relocate their families to Enugu so that they can enjoy the serenity we're enjoying. And the governor, in his ingenuity, saw that he needs to expand Enugu so that Enugu cannot get clustered and clustered, choked up. And so the new Enugu story has come. So your question is, how does it help the economy of Nkanu East? So when the money from building, all our people that are trained, that be artisans, engineers, technicians, are all making money from working. And the money is not money that is from inside, though. It is new money from outside that is coming into Enugu. So people will have money in their pockets. Their spending power will increase. Their disposable income will increase. They can now buy things. And when they buy things, people that make things begin to make money. Somebody that used to make 1 bag of gari will start making 10 bags of gari. Somebody that used to do 10 bags of rice can start making 100 bags of rice. The people will start having more restaurants because there's an influx of people. Right, Ben? The imagination is endless. So it's a better life for Nkanu East, but not just Nkanu East. The case of New Enugu City is for the entire Enugu people. Because even the person, somebody from Nsukka will still have his house in New Enugu, drive on the double lane, high speed, find himself in Nsukka, enjoy himself. If he wants to sleep, he'll sleep. If he wants to come back to Enugu and sleep. That, the opportunities are endless. And that is why we have to always celebrate good leadership when we find one. And that's the kind of leadership we have found in Dr. Pinamba. That's why when we talk about him with passion. When we say we want to copy him, you understand what we want to copy. Thank you.
All right. So now that we've now known that there is an existing template, and that template has been spearheaded by His Excellency. So like you said, all you needed to do is just to copy and go back and paste. In your first 100 days, from this template of His Excellency, what's the first thing that you will copy and go and paste in Nkanu East local government, your first 100 days?
First thing you see is vocational training center. You'll train first 140 people within the first 2 months. So, and then you now have it multiplied across as the months go on. You see that we are going to now start having an intensive opening of our rural roads by the same people that we trained. You will see that we are going to have our markets fixed and upgraded. We start having proper sanitation. Our villages, we should not live in dirty places because it's called village. No. We're changing the mindset of our people. We're improving the livelihood of our people. You see our smart schools in the first 100 days all working properly as they should. You see our primary health centers working in the first 100 days. And you see a general camaraderie amongst our people, our villagers, our people in our communities, and our stakeholders. Our people will come together in peace and harmony. There will be joy in Nkanu East. You're going to see tournaments going on. To sum it up, you're going to see vibrancy, a new level of vibrancy, the kind of vibrancy that Pitamba brought into Enugu State. Pitamba came into Enugu State within 100 days, as if it looked as if they beat a drum and everybody said, things started happening. We're talking Nigerian Bar Association landed in Enugu. We brought over 100,000 people to come to the Nigerian Bar Association conference. All the hotels were booked. People were converting their houses to Airbnb. something that never could happen because he fixed the International Conference Center within the blink of an eye. Fixed. In fact, Enugu Air even had open. Presidential Hotel was fixed. Cacophony of things were just happening. So I call that vibrancy. So we're going to have a high degree of vibrancy, high frequency in Nkanu East within the first 100 days.
All right. Seeing that you're somebody that is so passionate, like when we were making your remark, you reminded me of 2021 when we had to go to Kefi and came back after 14 days of mental rejuvenation and virtual value chain. Now, you are gunning to go back to your place where you said a majority of them are into agriculture. Having been SPA agriculture, you've managed the Enugu State Marketing Board, and you've done so many things when it comes to value chain. How would you support the local farmers and businesses?
Yes, thank you. Well, that one is, if you ask me, that's like that's like my everyday baby. Yes, so that's a priority to me. If you remember earlier, I mentioned that we're going to operationalize our farm estates. So right now, the governor is supporting our everyday farmers. And while I was special advisor to the governor on agriculture, I used to work with him on that. 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, I think it's 3 weeks ago, the governor, flagged off the distribution of farm inputs to farmers. The governor has been supporting our farmers. And this time around, I think it's 60,000 bags of fertilizers were shared. Seeds, rice seeds, meat seeds, cassava stems, herbicides, insecticides, things that would help them produce better. And for what happened last year and last 2 years, we saw a bumper harvest, the crashed food prices in Enugu. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of support is going on already on the state level. And remember, I'm copying and I'm pasting. And with what the governor has done and has been doing, that is what I call subsidy. The other day, Arise TV interviewed me. I said, this is subsidy. In any country of the world that is doing well, they do subsidy to their farmers so that the farmers will stop worrying about problems and just produce food. So the governor has been giving subsidy to the farmers through direct input support. So when I come in, I'm going to first of all help to ensure that it is properly organized on the rural level, that the farmers are all organized to receive the support from the state and further support them. Get more land for them, clear more land for them, put them in clusters, help them to get access to markets. The problem farmers usually have most times is access to markets. When they farm, they produce, they go and sit down in the cassava mill, they process gari, they now take it to a care market and sit down and wait for people to come and buy. So we can offtake from farmers. We can do, cluster offtake agreements with buyers so that as they're farming and they're producing, you're sure who will buy. And rightfully, you mentioned I was the MD CEO of the Enugu State Marketing Company, where I started it. I superintended over the governor's Workers' Food Scheme. The Workers' Food Scheme is a program whereby if you're a civil servant and you're being paid through the office of the Accountant General, you can walk into the Enugu Marketing Company, they verify you and give you, buy foodstuff and go. At the month end, you pay from your salary. We sell you on credit. So we can still further support that program through our local government, since we produce a lot of food. And then we help them to have access to big warehouses, but there is a very huge market. So everything is structured. These things exist. It's just for somebody to sit down and just draw proper plans around it and do proper implementation around it, have teams that will focus on it. And that's something that I will do to ensure our people have a better day.
Okay, if you're still joining us, this is Engineer Mike Chikosolu Ogbuekwe, the APC candidate for Nkanu East local government. Before we ask the final question, how will you ensure transparency in managing public funds?
The system and structure of governance and government already existing in Nigeria has templates that ensures transparency. That all you need to do is just follow it. So if anybody is not transparent, that means the person is actually trying to obliterate the system or circumvent the system. I have years of experience in public service. I've advised 3 governors across 2 different states. So I know upfront how it works. The system as set up in Nigeria is transparent. It's meant to be transparent. So just follow the system and you'll be okay. Why hide things? People that hide things are people that don't know what to do. But if you are busy trying to do things right, get things, you won't have time to remember to try to hide things.
Okay, the final question, sir. You've come to the VAR Podcast. One of the things that we do is that you've said so many things. After the production, we can also go back to fact check so that the people would actually know this is what is said, this is what is done. Now, one of the things that they would not be able to fact check, because you've already fact checked when you said in 2021, you took some of the young persons to Kefi, which you fact checked me as one of them. So that one will not be fact checked. God willing, come September, you're voted into the office. The VAR Podcast does not end. We will still bring you back again after 6 months to say these were the things that you said in the first 100 days. Okay, where the trainings now? Then when we see the trainings, we say yes. But beyond that, tell the Nkanu East what they should hold you accountable for after your first tenure of 2 years.
Thank you. What I want to tell you is, by the grace of God, when I win my election, because I think I'm doing an extensive campaign already, and I'm sworn in, I probably will need to carry this. Is it VAR or VAR?
Yes, VAR Podcast.
I don't even need to come here. I'll carry you into my office. In fact, you should have a mobile VAR podcast and be following me so that you see it, you touch them. If VAR Podcast is Thomas in the Bible, that is doubting Thomas, that you wanted to put your hand inside the side of Jesus, I will put my hand inside. You'll be putting your hand inside. Okay? You'll be saying it. Because talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. So get ready for a mobile VAR podcast that will go and stream those things back for real. I'm showing you your viewers, because it is not by mouth by that time. Why we're talking by mouth now is because we're talking about the future. What you'll be doing, you should be talking about the present, because you are seeing it. You're videoing it. So please get ready to come. And about the what do you call it? Was it the fact checking? Well, it's good you already fact checked one. So go ahead and please fact check the balance. And what would they hold me accountable for? That's what I've been talking about for the past how many minutes now? I've said everything. Everything I said is something that I need to be held accountable for, because I already hold myself accountable. As much as I hold myself accountable, I'll try to sleep well at night.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you. Namoga Bidiso, but so I bring and come. Just the same way we are open to every other candidate. What we want to do is that we want to have an informed citizens that would cast their votes. Nkanu East, behold Engineer Mike Chikosolu Ogbuekwe. Thank you and thank you.
Thank you so much.